Before the 2026 World Cup even kicked off, two national football teams were told to change their shirts. It wasn't about a sponsor. It wasn't about colors clashing with another team. It wasn't about anything that happened on the field or inside a stadium. One team was told to take off some stars. Stars that stood for the greatest achievement in their football history. Stars that had been sewn onto every shirt they wore for years. Stars their fans had grown up seeing and feeling proud of. The other team was told to take off a picture that showed the moment their country was born, a moment from the year 1803, a battle, an uprising, a group of enslaved people who fought for their freedom and won, a small scene their designer had quietly placed on the side of the shirt as a tribute to the men and women who built their country from nothing. Egypt and Haiti, two nations on opposite sides of the world, with completely different histories, completely different football stories, and completely different reasons for what was on their shirts. But both were told by the same organization in the same week, before the same tournament, to remove it, and both teams agreed to do it. Here's the question we're thinking about. Right before matches these teams have worked toward for years, matches that mean so much to their players, their families, and their countries. Was FIFA right to do this? Are the rules that led to these decisions good rules? And what does this tell us about how the world's most powerful football organization sees the difference between football and history, between equipment rules and national identity, between sport and the stories that nations carry in their symbols? Let's start with Egypt, because that story is more straightforward, and the answer to whether FIFA was right is cleaner than it first seems. Egypt is one of the most successful national football teams in African history. They have won the Africa Cup of Nations 7 times. 7 times. That's a record no other African nation has matched. They won it in 1957, 1959, 1986, 1998, 2006, 2008, and 2010. 7 continental titles spread across 5 different decades of African football. For years, the Egyptian team's jersey has carried 7 stars above the crest to mark that achievement. Not hidden away, not subtle, right there above the badge, where every player could look down and see it, and every fan could see it when the team ran onto the field. When the Egyptian Football Association unveiled their kit for this World Cup, made by Puma and officially launched almost a month before the tournament began, those 7 stars were on it. Gold stars, gold numbers. The shirt that Mohamed Salah and his teammates would wear to represent their country on the biggest stage in the game. Then FIFA sent a letter. The Egyptian Football Association confirmed publicly what it said. FIFA's position was clear and direct. Stars on a World Cup jersey are only allowed to represent World Cup wins. Egypt has never won the World Cup. They have been to 4 World Cups in 1934, 1990, 2018, and now 2026, and they have never made it past the group stage. Their success in Africa, however amazing, is not a World Cup achievement. Under FIFA's kit rules, which apply the same way to all 48 nations in this tournament, stars on jerseys can only stand for World Cup titles. Brazil has 5 stars. Argentina has 3, after winning in Qatar in 2022. Germany has 4. France has 2. Italy has 4. These are the nations allowed to wear stars at this tournament, because their stars represent something that happened at the World Cup itself, not at a continental tournament. FIFA also asked Egypt to change the color of the player numbers. The Egyptian kit used gold numbers, which had long been part of the team's look. They stood out, and they meant something to fans who have been buying Egyptian jerseys for decades. FIFA's rules say that numbers must be easy to read on television, and gold numbers on a white background don't meet that standard under certain lighting. So FIFA required white numbers on a red home shirt instead. The Egyptian Football Association pushed back to the proper channels, but in the end, they agreed to the changes. When the team runs out to play Belgium on June 15th in Seattle, they will be wearing a shirt without the 7 stars. By any measure, it is not the shirt they wanted to wear. Here's where the story gets interesting, because FIFA's rule about stars is not new. It has been used at every World Cup for years. Germany's 4 stars, Brazil's 5 stars. These are not new ideas. They are long-standing parts of the kit rules that every football association knows about before a tournament even begins. The rule exists for a reason that is both practical and symbolic. The World Cup is FIFA's own competition. The stars on a shirt at the World Cup should mean one specific thing. This team has won this competition. If FIFA let continental titles, Olympic gold medals, or any other achievement be shown as stars at the World Cup, it would blur that specific meaning. FIFA's argument is that it matters to be clear about what these symbols represent. That argument has real merit. If Egypt's 7 African Cup stars sat next to Brazil's 5 World Cup stars in the same tournament, a fan watching for the first time might reasonably think all the stars meant the same thing. They don't, and that difference matters. But there's a counter-argument, and Egyptian football fans are making it loudly. It deserves to be said honestly. The Africa Cup of Nations is the most important continental tournament in football. Winning it 7 times, more than any other nation ever has, is a genuine and amazing achievement in the history of the game. FIFA's decision to stop Egypt from showing that achievement on their shirt, while Brazil, Argentina, and Germany were their World Cup stars with no restrictions at all, creates a kind of ranking at the tournament. It puts World Cup success above every other kind of football success, as if only what FIFA organizes truly counts. For Egyptian fans, that is a painful ranking to accept. But it is FIFA's competition and FIFA's rules, and the Egyptian Football Association knew those rules when they submitted a kit that didn't follow them. Part of that responsibility belongs to the federation, not only to FIFA. The harder story to tell is Haiti's, and I want to take real time with it, because it deserves more than a quick summary. Haiti is at the World Cup for only the 2nd time in the history of their men's national team. The first time was back in 1974, more than 50 years ago. This qualification, this journey to the 2026 World Cup, means something extraordinary for a country that has faced terrible hardship in recent years: economic crisis, political instability, and natural disasters that have tested the strength of its people in ways that are almost impossible to put into words. When Haiti qualified, the celebrations were huge, not just because a football team had earned a spot at a tournament, but because a nation that has been fighting for its survival needed something to celebrate. The jersey their kit maker designed for this tournament, a Colombian company called Saeta, was built around that same spirit. The shirt itself used blue to represent the Caribbean Sea, and red for the passion and strength of the Haitian people. And on the right hip of the shirt, small but placed there on purpose, was an image, a detailed drawing of the Battle of Verdières. The Battle of Verdières took place on November 18, 1803. It was the final major battle of the Haitian War of Independence, a 13-year uprising by enslaved people against French colonial rule. That uprising ended with Haiti becoming the world's first independent nation, founded by formerly enslaved people. The victory at Verdières was decisive. It led directly to the declaration of Haitian independence on January 1st, 1804, an event that sent shockwaves through colonial empires around the world, and that remains to this day one of the most remarkable events in modern history. The image on the shirt showed figures raising the Haitian flag at that moment. It was an act of remembrance, a tribute to the people whose sacrifice made Haiti a nation. FIFA banned it. FIFA's rules ban political slogans or images on jerseys at the tournament. FIFA didn't publicly explain exactly which part of the design broke the rule, but there wasn't much doubt about it. A spokesperson for Haiti's team later confirmed that the original jersey included an image showing the Battle of Verdières and some independence heroes raising the Haitian flag. FIFA decided that image counted as political imagery under its rules, and that it could not appear on a shirt worn in competition. Saeta, the manufacturer, released a statement saying it would comply. The company made sure to point out that the design was never meant as a political statement. It was, they said, a tribute to the men and women who contribute every day to Haiti's future. The shirts had already been worn in 2 warm-up matches. The original design had sold out on the manufacturer's website, and with the tournament just days away, Haiti's team faced the prospect of walking out for their first World Cup match in 52 years, wearing a shirt that had been stripped of the one image that meant the most to the people watching back home. And as the scholars and historians who have written about this case have pointed out, this is not an isolated incident. Earlier in 2026, the International Olympic Committee required Haiti's Winter Olympics team to change its opening ceremony uniforms. Those uniforms, designed by Haitian-Italian fashion designer Stella Jean, featured a painting of Toussaint Louverture, one of Haiti's founding revolutionary leaders. Olympic officials decided this broke the rules against political symbolism. The designer found a creative solution. She painted over the figure, leaving just a horse against a background of tropical leaves. The original image of Louverture was gone, replaced by a silhouette of what was left. Two rebukes from the highest international sports authorities, within just a few months of each other. Two pieces of design that reference the same historical event, Haiti's revolutionary founding, both flagged by two separate governing bodies for breaking rules about political imagery. The designer, Stella Jean, told a news agency, "Either way, Haiti has to be setting a record." That comment has a sadness to it that goes beyond irony, because here's a question at the heart of the Haiti jersey story, and it's a much harder question to answer comfortably than the Egypt question. Where's the line between political imagery and historical imagery? The Battle of Verdières happened in 1803. It is not a recent political event. It has nothing to do with a current political party, a living government, or a present-day territorial dispute. It is an event from 226 years ago that marks the founding moment of a nation. In the same way a French jersey might reference the French tricolor flag, or a South African jersey might reference the Rainbow Nation after apartheid, the image on Haiti's shirt was referencing a moment their country came into being. FIFA's rules use the word political, but deciding what counts as political is itself a choice. And the choice FIFA made, that an image of enslaved people fighting for their freedom in 1803 counts as political imagery that cannot appear on a World Cup jersey, is a choice that many historians, academics, and supporters of the Haitian national team have called deeply uncomfortable. One academic perspective, published in the days after the ban, went even further. It pointed out that the history of the Haitian Revolution has faced constant attempts to discredit it and play it down ever since it happened. The fact that enslaved people could organize, fight, and win, that they could build a nation, was a direct challenge to the colonial system that ruled much of the world in 1804. At the time, colonial powers responded by isolating Haiti, forcing to pay enormous debt as the price of being recognized as a nation, and pushing the story of the revolution out of the historical record. The academic argued that FIFA's jersey ban, whatever its intention, is part of a longer pattern in which Haiti's founding history is treated as too uncomfortable, too charged, too political, when really it is simply history. That is a significant claim, and it's worth being careful with it. FIFA's rules about political imagery were not written with Haiti in mind. They applied to all 48 nations. A jersey showing a current political figure or a territorial claim or a message about an ongoing conflict. Those are the kinds of images the rules are clearly designed to stop. But the line between that and a 200-year-old battle scene is not one that FIFA has drawn clearly. The result is that a rule with a completely reasonable general purpose produced, in this one specific case, an outcome that has genuinely upset a lot of people. What these two stories, Egypt's stars and Haiti's battle scene, share is something worth saying directly. They are both stories about nations whose football identity is built on things that happen outside the FIFA World Cup. Egypt's greatness is continental. Haiti's identity is historical. Neither of those things fits neatly into what FIFA's rules recognize and allow. And this is happening at a tournament that has also seen Vinicius Jr. refuse a required halftime interview, 3 attorneys general investigating ticket prices, a Somali referee denied a visa, and fans canceling their tickets because they don't feel safe. At a tournament that has already raised more questions about the relationship between FIFA and the people who love football than maybe any previous World Cup, these jersey stories feel like part of the same bigger conversation. What is football? Who does it belong to? And whose history, whose identity, and whose pride gets to walk onto the field? Both teams agreed to the changes. Egypt will play without their stars. Haiti played their opening match against Scotland in Boston, wearing the modified jersey with the Battle of Verdières removed. The football happened. The results were what they were. The jersey controversy became just one thread among many in the opening days of a tournament that has given people more to talk about than almost anyone expected. But the images of both original shirts, the one with 7 stars and the one with the battle scene on the hip, are still being shared, still circulating, still sparking discussion. In their own way, the shirts that weren't allowed to exist have become more visible than the ones that replaced them. That's the thing about banning something. Sometimes the absence is louder than the presence would have been. We'd love to know what you think. Was FIFA right to apply its rules the same way in both of these cases? Or does the Haiti situation ask a harder question than a kit regulation was ever designed to answer? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. This is a conversation that gets handled with real depth and care here. If you want to keep following this story as the tournament unfolds, hit subscribe. See you in the next video.